Yo guys, welcome to the last lap. Don't forget to drop a lovely, juicy 5-star rating if you're watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Hope you enjoy, and let's get into it.
But you know what's good to because Vowles has only just taken charge as well. Mm-hmm. And the fact that, you know what, they
don't have a technical director there.
Yeah, they got rid of FX and Joska Pito. And look, credit to them because they're the ones who got this car into this position. Hopefully Vowles can push on. But I think with Williams, it was always expectations were quite low. And maybe some of this is track dependent as well because I think they were better in qualifying than in race. Albon was saying if he didn't have his front wing, he could have maybe flirted with Q3 as well.
We weren't very good at Bahrain though last year. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was just them and McLaren down.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't think it's necessarily a track that properly suits them historically.
Well, they had the biggest improvement in testing relative to last year because it's all just relative. Everyone's improving. It's just how much are you improving compared to the next
Alpine were the only one that set a slower lap time in 2020.
But they didn't put a soft on, did they?
No.
They kept it mid.
Alpine
They kept it mid.
Fair enough, yeah, no.
They were hard throughout that whole test.
They were hard, yeah. Hard watch.
Hard watch.
Yeah.
No, but
it was a hard watch if you're
not just because I'm an Albon fan, but I think seeing the name of Williams, they've been at the foot of the table for far too long, and I feel like it's one of those seasons that, if it is a top 4 and then the rest, you could go from P6 to P10 in the constructors in one bad race potentially, which is quite exciting for the rest of the field.
Yeah, and Williams have got about £10 worth of investment in them because they're owned by a capital investment fund, and going to them and saying, "Oh, can we have an extra 10 million, please? Maybe we'll get some extra points out of it." Well, they'll say, "No, you can't unless it's guaranteed you're going to end up." So they are struggling, but to see them go up there with such a small budget, good on them.
Yeah, and because they haven't got that many sponsors, it's not like they're a team laden with, it's not like a McLaren or an Alfa Romeo.
Money, didn't they?
Yeah,
sweet Nutella money.
Indeed. I think they brought in a few sponsors. I remember when I was there, I think that Stevens that's on the side, they're like an American investment bank or something. So I think he's helped.
Yeah. Some guy called Stephen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is our new sponsor, Big Steve.
So that F2 car that has someone's face on the side.
Yes.
That's what they need.
But shout out Logan as well. Logan, really good job. First race wasn't that far off Alex. And I think, again, we said this he's already passed the better than Latifi test with flying colours. I
can't believe
again,
it. Latifi slander.
He pretty much just had to be on time, I think, to the first briefing, probably.
Do you know where the track goes?
Yeah. You're in.
We also had Alpine, bit of a tale of two halves, actually, because the fact that Gasly came from 20 to 9.
Yeah.
Very good.
Great drive.
Who knows? If he'd have qualified where Esteban qualified, who knows how close he would have been to that front 4.
Yeah.
But obviously Esteban
gives Alpine some hope as well in terms of pace because it didn't seem like it was really there in qualifying. But
whatever could have gone wrong did go wrong in the other side of the garage. It was, it was Fernando getting all the bad luck last year, and now it's got swept to the other side.
Yeah. He was speed running how quickly he could sort of break the record for most time penalties in a race.
I know, genuinely, I think if that was an F1 2022 race, he's disqualified. That amount of penalties, I'm pretty sure you're gone. You get 5 pens and it's a wrap.
He just felt sorry for Lando being at the back. He was like, I'll come give you a race.
I just want someone to race. Yeah, it was one of those.
That was really when Lando's engineer was like, "Oh, you can have a little bat with Ocon, like P18." I bet Lando's like, "Great, chuff with that one.
Give me some more air."
But do you think that's I think still a really big unknown. I think there's a lot of unknowns around Alpine in testing. And I think in this race, because Gasly moved through the whole field pretty much, apart from Bottas, and he was catching Bottas towards the end as well, and he started at the back. I don't know if Alpine are closer to that top 4 or the rest.
I have more questions than I did before the race started.
Agreed.
About Alpine.
It's hard to say with Alpine because if you look at just outright times in testing, then you'll say, "Oh, what on earth's happened? They've gone completely backwards." But if you look into it a bit more, a lot of their testing was just spent trying to understand the setup of their new rear suspension. They've got an entirely new rear suspension.
Yeah.
So rather than go for outright lap time in testing, they were like, right, look, let's just do as much running as we can so we understand the setup of the car and how we work with this new rear suspension. And then you have a race like today where you say, well, all right, Gasly may have had a stinker in qualifying, but he ended up P9.
Yeah.
But then Ocon, like you say, he was speed running, getting sent home. So where are they in reality? We still don't really know. But I don't think it's as bad as people think for Alpine.
No, I think Alpine will be. I think they'll probably be 5th quickest car. That's my early prediction.
So that magical best of the rest.
Yeah, I think they'll be quite comfortably in there for
The
me.
field.
The field. Head of the field.
And again, it just makes Fernando's move look even more big brain than it did before. Haas as well, stinker.
Yeah. Underrated.
Bit of a
power.
weird one.
Yeah.
No, look,
Hulkenberg had such a great qualifying.
yeah, but his front wing got broke, didn't it? So he had to come in to get that changed, and that kind of, especially when that happens at the start of the race as well, and you haven't had time to build gaps in the field.
Yeah, he was
to
kind of
slot in.
from the start, really, and then he got hit by penalty gate as well.
Yeah, he
towards the
felt
end.
left out. And thought,
Ocon was getting all the fun
Yeah.
in the steward's room. So.
Yeah, not
Magnussen, I don't even know if he was there.
I think Magnussen finished where he started, basically, in 16th or something.
Which is wild considering 4 people retired.
well. How many points is it for P5? Because I think Haas in total scored like 37 points last year, and he scored 10 points just at that first race.
Yeah.
And that kind of carried them for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
almost.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like they've had a stinker at the start. I think the pace, like Hulkenberg Q3, you can't like look past
Yeah,
that.
no, I do hear that. I'm just concerned because based off pace during a race, bars, they look like the team that was just a little bit adrift.
Yeah.
There was no movement. Like once Hulkenberg pitted, it was like, right.
Magnussen wasn't able to make any progress,
Yeah,
which he did
we're
many.
like 10 seconds off the back of like the Alpha Tower.
I mean, we saw it during the race. There was a long train in the early stages, and I think that field is so close amongst everyone from, after the Aston Martin, Mercedes.
Yeah.
Everyone down there is so close together that you have to be consistent and clean. And because of that front wing damage, it just cost them so much. Like, had that not happened, I think he could have been fighting for a point at the back of it. I reckon he could be around there with Albon and Tsunoda for sure.
Yeah.
But realistically, did anyone actually have Haas down as like a, top of the midfield table like team? Because
No.
it's Haas. No disrespect to them, but they are where they. I thought they would.
I thought the start of the season they'd be pretty good.
They're traditionally good starters, isn't it?
Yeah.
They start well. They get like 60% of their points in the first 4 Grand Prix and then go on holiday.
It's like, what was it? When I was in year 9 and I did like a 400
I did like a 400
Where's this
I did like a
What
400
was that in
meter.
1994?
I did a 400 meter run and like I went out the blocks just
last
way
time
too
you did a run?
fast, and it was pretty much it was. And the last 100 meters, I was just blowing out my ass. I was just I was dying, and everyone else just like jogged past me, and I was just like I just went too hard
Thought
too
this was going to
early.
be a story like when you was in year 9, you watched Graham Hill win the championship or something. Like that.
Should we get our IDs out and see who's older? Dan?
I'm the oldest, mate. I am old and
Alright.
haggard.